Connecting to the cloud. Okay, so I'm going to try to show you the way to use a website, easybib.com, for how to format your citations for when you're using sources in your writing. This is really one of those things that it used to be much more complex. It looks complicated, and it kind of is still, but when you use the online formatting services, this is something that can be pretty simple to do, and it's really important to make sure, one, that we cite our sources, and two, that we cite them properly. And there are a couple of reasons for doing that we don't have to go too deeply into, but just remember that the purpose of using citations is to increase your credibility, so people can believe, hey, it's not just you saying this, there are these sources that have this information that you are using, referencing. And the second one is that if you cite them properly, then the reader can go to the source for more information, to, one, confirm that yes, this is the information from that source, but number two, and most of the time this is kind of more important, is that the point you made, or the statistic, or whatever it is that you cited from there, may lead the reader to go, oh, I'd like to read more about what this person, or this university, or this research center, or wherever that source came from, what they had to say about that. Okay, so I've tried this a bunch of different times, and maybe this will be the best way to show you how to get your way all the way through it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look here at my screen here. I'm going to try to share this. We'll go through here. Okay, so now we're just looking at I need to be in my browser here. Okay, so here's the website. The website is easybib.com. All right, so now I'll give you the link. That's no problem, right? So we have easybib.com. All right, so what I did was I just searched for a general, just some idea, just so we have something to use for our source here. So I just searched for article on student life abroad, because this is one of the topics that we do cover, right? And I looked through the list here on Google, and I noticed that some of these are basically just promoting Go Study Abroad, right? But then I came here to the Independent, and so the Independent, I know this is a source. This is a source for news and information, and it's from the UK. All right, so I clicked on that link, and then that takes me to this article, which is what's student life like in other countries, right? And so I scanned this kind of quickly, and there's a lot of really good information, it looks like, here, about cost, about how many hours of class, and that kind of thing, right? So even during my research, it's just better as I'm researching here that I'm going to go here, right? So I'm going to the URL, right? And I'm going to select that URL and copy that, all right? So I have this. Now I'm going back to EasyBib, and at EasyBib, I'm going here where it says Create Citations. So I'm going to click Create Citations. And for now, I'm going to be using a website. I'm citing a website. So we can look here. So there's website, book, or journal, and there's some other possibilities. You can choose a film and newspapers and different kinds of things, right? But for us, most of the time these days, it's going to be websites or journals, right? So I'm going to click the website one, and now I'm just going to put in that URL, and then click the search button. Okay, and then we wait. So it says, oh, look, I found it already. It's fairly fast, right? So is this the one, right? So we see this here. It says, is this the one? And I say, yeah, this is it. So then I click the Cite button. Okay, and so then it says, here's what information we found. But notice that on this side over here, it's saying that we still need some help with the publisher or the sponsor, but this did a good job. It found pretty much everything here, right? So then we click the continue button, and there's a few of these that we have to keep doing here. Where continue, continue, continue. Okay, so we look here and we have, here's the title of the article, right? Title, and the author's name is here. It found the date of publication. This is 2013, right? And so it has pretty much all of the information that we really have to have. We have the publisher, the website title, the URL, the date of publication, the author, and the title. All right, so this is pretty much everything we have to have, right? So then we're going to go to the complete citation button, and we click that. And it says, yay, we've created your MLA 8. And there are lots of different, so the Modern Language Association, that's the abbreviation MLA. We're up to 7 and 8. These are the most common ones that are being used these days. This is the one, the default one is MLA 8. And then now we have our citation, right? So a cool thing about EasyBib is that it's free, and it also will store. I have a membership there, so you can see that my recent works cited that I have here. I was doing one just from my website, just as an example. All right. So, and then you can copy the bibliography citation or copy an in-text citation. For us, we might be using either one. So whichever one you want to be using at this time, right? So we can do this really pretty easily. We have this menu. If you click the button, the dot button on the right, you can copy the citation, you can edit the citation, you can delete it, you can make some notes, which is also useful, right? Because if I log in here, it'll show all of my work cited, and I use this. I write professional papers. Okay, so I mean, they're here, and it will alphabetize them. It will do everything for you, right? So it's really, really convenient. Don't try to figure this out on your own. I'm sorry, it's just really too complicated because there are all these different variations. If I'm citing a newspaper that's citing a journal article, then the format is all different, right? So don't do that. Don't do it. Just do it this way. This is just, I promise you, this is the easiest way, right? So then when you do that, then we can do copy, right? So we can cut and paste from here, right? But your citation is going to take this format where it has this this final. This is annoying, isn't it? A little bit annoying, right? That we can't look at it without me. Okay, here we go. All right, so we can see that the first thing is the family name, comma, first name, period. Then should have quotation marks in the title of the article. And the next part in the italics will be the name of the place that it was published, right? And then the publishing company will be after that, and then the date. So your format should always follow this structure, right? And it doesn't matter how many you have. Now notice that I have 2 here for now, and they're already put into alphabetical order. So whenever you cite works in this format, you always cite them in alphabetical order. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Then you're just going to cut and paste this. You can just do copy your citation, right? And then you can just open up whatever file it is you want to paste it into and keep that, right? So it says they're offering to check your paper. Well, don't do that, okay? Right, so that's all it is. So if you find that you have some information missing, which does happen occasionally, like the author name, most of the time if you go back to the website page, you can find that information, right? So we can find that this is the independent, and there are a couple of things we can look for if we don't see like publication date, copyright notice, and those things. Right? Most of the time, you can find the author's names for websites. It'll be right here, right under the title, somewhere close, especially if it's a newspaper or if it's a website that we can trust, right? And this is also important whenever you're doing citations. Remember, we said that one of the reasons for doing citations is that we are trying to we're borrowing credibility. And if we are borrowing our credibility from some fly-by-night blog that's, John Cooper or something, who no one knows, and he doesn't have any degrees, and he's just making a bunch of statements, then that damages your credibility. So most of the higher credible, believable website sources are going to have the name of the person that wrote the article and the date it was published. And often it will have the time too, because we're talking about in these days, the time something is published is also important, right? So if you don't find it there, most of the time, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we can do a couple of things here. If I can get to the bottom here and make it stay there, it doesn't want to stay there. Close all this stuff here. So we have all these user policies. Notice along the bottom, contact us, syndication, those things, right? So most of the time, those things, what is this? Will that go away if I click it? Sorry, this is one of those things, right? It looks like no. That's annoying. Sorry. I just chose this website at random, so I didn't know. But most of the time, the bottom of the page will have the information that you're looking for, right? The author's name, those things, right? The reason this is because this is the new thing these days. Is a lot of these websites, they have the never-ending front page, right? So it's like Facebook or Twitter, where if you just keep scrolling, it just keeps scrolling forever. But even here, syndication tells us who the company is. Contact us will tell us who the company is. So I can find, most of the time, I can find out who the company is, or who the author is, or what the date of publication is by checking just look around on the web page. You can usually find that information, right? So the key is to make sure that we get to this stage, and then we cut and paste this, and we use this at the end of our paper, right? So we can cite a website, we can cite a journal entry, we can cite books or newspapers and those things. If you just type in the title, right? If you just type in the title, right, of an article, then it will look for, and it will give you different options, right? But most of the time, we're going to be working from the URL already. If you have a journal that you want to use, a journal article that you want to use, just type in the exact word-for-word title. Almost all of them, it's amazing, will be searchable and findable here, right? So hopefully that'll get you through using EasyBib. I really recommend using EasyBib. I use it for every stage of my own writing. I use it for journal articles. I use it for professional writing. I use it in my classes as well. So it's really probably one of the best ways that we can properly format our citations. Okay, so let's see if this is so. Hopefully that will get us through. That's kind of enough for us to figure out how to use EasyBib, the website there. All right.